Imagine walking down a scenic highway on a crisp New York evening. To your left, the Atlantic Ocean crashes against the sand. To your right, thick, tangled brush hides the secrets of the marsh. For over a decade, this stretch of Long Island was the most terrifying place in America. People called him the Long Island serial killer, a ghost who snatched women from the neon lights of Manhattan and left them in the shadows of Gilgo Beach. The police were baffled. The trail was ice cold. But in the summer of 2023, the mystery came crashing down on the doorstep of a quiet, messy house in the suburbs. The monster wasn't a drifter or a cinematic villain. He was an architect, a father, and a neighbor. His name was Rex Heuermann, and his downfall started with a simple, discarded pizza crust. The nightmare officially began in May 2010 with a frantic 911 call. A young woman named Shannon Gilbert was seen running through the gated community of Oak Beach, screaming that someone was after her. She vanished into the marsh. When the Suffolk County Police showed up to find her, they stumbled upon something far more sinister. They didn't find Shannon right away. Instead, a canine unit caught a scent near Ocean Parkway. They found a set of skeletal remains wrapped in burlap. Then another. And another. Within days, 4 bodies had been discovered, all within a few hundred feet of each other. They became known as the Gilgo 4. As the months went by, the body count rose to 10. The victims included young women, a man, and even a toddler. The American public was paralyzed with fear. Who could do this? The killer was organized. He knew police tactics. He used burner phones in the middle of crowded places like Penn Station and Times Square to lure victims, making it impossible to track his signal back to a home. He was a predator who understood the blind spots of the law. For 13 years, the families of these women waited for justice that felt like it was never coming. The case became a symbol of police failure and corruption. But the tide turned in 2022 when a new task force took over. They didn't look for new clues. They looked at the old ones with fresh eyes. They found a witness report from years ago mentioned a first-generation Chevrolet Avalanche. It was a specific, bulky truck. Investigators ran a search for every Chevy Avalanche in the New York and Long Island area. They cross-referenced those owners with physical descriptions of a large, burly man. That's when the name Rex Heuermann popped up. To the world, Rex was a successful Manhattan architect. He owned a firm on Fifth Avenue. He was a large man, standing 6'4" and weighing over 250 pounds. He looked like an average, hard-working New Yorker. But undercover officers began to follow him, and they saw a different man. They saw him buying burner phones. They saw him using those phones to contact sex workers late at night. Most chillingly, they checked his internet search history. He was obsessed with the Gilgo Beach investigation. He was searching for photos of the victims and looking for updates on the police search for the killer. He was literally watching the world look for him. The smoking gun came in early 2023. Rex was seen throwing a pizza box into a public trash can near his office in Midtown Manhattan. Investigators swarmed that trash can like it was a pot of gold. They recovered a discarded pizza crust and sent it to a lab. They compared the DNA from that crust to a single hair found on the burlap used to wrap one of the victims, Megan Waterman, back in 2010. It was a 100% match. The architect from Massapequa Park was the monster they had been hunting for over a decade. When the FBI and state police raided his home, the American media went into a frenzy. The house was a dark, cluttered mess. Inside, they found a vault behind a locked door containing over 200 firearms. Neighbors were stunned. They had seen this man for years, watched him take the train to work, and shared sidewalks with him. They had no idea they were living next to a killing machine. As Rex Heuermann sits in a jail cell today, more victims are being linked to him. The investigation has expanded to other states, including South Carolina and Nevada, where he owned property. This case changed the way Americans look at their neighbors. It's a story of a double life. A man who spent his days designing buildings in the greatest city on earth, and his nights haunting the desolate shores of Long Island. The trial will be one of the biggest in U.S. history, but for the families of the Gilgo Beach victims, the long, dark night is finally over. The ghost finally has a name, and he's never going home again.